Okay, guys, remember what we've been talking about these past few days? We've been talking about Git, HTML, all of these things right here. On our resources page, okay? On our resources page of every single week, you guys can see all the slides, all the lectures, everything you need to for the class, okay? Obviously, we break it down by the schedule. On Monday, we talked about HTML, CSS. HTML for structure, CSS for styling. On Tuesday, we figured out how to move things around on the screen, okay? I want the nav bar up top. I want the anchors on the right. I want the anchors centered. I want the logo centered. Sometimes I want it centered vertically. Sometimes I want it centered horizontally. Remember, the easiest way to do this is to put loud colors on each container, on each div, right? Put loud colors, remove them. On Wednesday, we did the pricing page, and we got a fill for Bootstrap, okay? Bootstrap helped us do a lot of work very quickly. And yesterday, we began our group project. Typically, on Fridays, we do not lecture, but I've been thinking about this, about how to take ownership of this class, how to do a better job, how to deliver on what you guys want. And so, we're gonna do a lecture today. And this one is gonna be focused on Git and Bootstrap and HTML and CSS. We're gonna do all that magical stuff today. Okay. So we're gonna move quickly, okay? Please, raise your hands, ask some questions. Ask me to talk slower or repeat something, okay? Okay, so you guys can see, hold on. Oops, come on. Oh my God. Mine. Are you the project technical lead? Who's the project manager for your class, your team?
The Scrum Master?
Yeah.
That's me.
That's you? Okay, guys, I am mine. Okay, I'm gonna put on my my hat. Because I'm thinking. Hold on. Okay, so we're creating a new project. Our assignment is to work as a team to create some software, okay? We need to create some files and folders. So I'm gonna create a directory. And I want you now, for the purpose of this demonstration, of this lecture, we're gonna pretend that we have two computers up here. Okay, and I'm gonna show you in a second what I mean. So I'm creating my directory, and this is where I'm gonna put my work. It's called my, okay? So we create a new project, it's called my. The first thing we need to do, because we have not told our computer that we want this to be a GitHub repository, is run what command now? Git init, thank you. Let me make this smaller. We're gonna run git init. What do we expect to see different on the screen? Yes, we should see an indicator. Okay, we're using the correct tools. It's gonna help us. That's what all these things are. They're not there for no reason. These words are here for a reason. So I run git init. I expect to see master on the command line, and we see the initialized git empty git repository, and we do in fact see master. Nice. So now I'm going to create some basic files. I'm going to create an index.html and all these files right here. And then I'm going to open up the code editor. Okay, so we got our code editor open, and we got our HTML5. We're going to do our shortcuts. We create this, and now we're gonna pretend that we already know what's going on, kinda. Okay. So we're gonna have a nav here. This is gonna be for my, for example. Then we have a header. This is gonna be for who's on your team, my? Who else? Dip. Okay, we'll say Dip is here.
Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Thin.
Yeah, over there. Right?
Thin. Let's just pretend, okay? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter right now, okay?
Yeah, or something. I'm so confused.
Okay, then we have Dip down here. This is gonna be our footer. Okay? So now Maya's project lead, and she just divvied out the task. She said Maya's gonna do the nav bar, Tin is gonna do the header, Dip is gonna do the footer. Okay? Nothing magical so far. So the first thing she's gonna do is run git add all. Because right now she does git status, what happens? We're gonna see something that says no commits or something like that. No commits yet, see? Right? So we're gonna add everything. We're gonna do git commit -m initial commit. Okay, so what happens when I run git push origin master, guys? Would this work? Why doesn't it work? Yes, we have not tied this project to some other server. We haven't tied it to a remote a repository on GitHub or GitLab or a Bitbucket, okay? So we're gonna test to make sure. We're gonna do git remote-v. If we run git remote-v, we'll see no output from our terminal. And the reason why we do that is because once again, we have not tied them. We have not linked them. So we're gonna jump over to GitHub, and then we're gonna create a new project, and we're gonna call this, what's the group they're working on? What project are you guys working on?
Group work 3.
Well, what startup are you guys working on?
Oh, it's an environment. Straw sucks.
Straws suck. Okay.
Yeah.
Straws suck. We can call it straws suck. We create the project. Now we need to add our remote. This is the command that we run one time for whenever we run this, okay? Or whenever we create a new project. We copy it and paste it over. We do the same thing below. This is us pushing one time, okay? We're pushing it one time and we're setting this as the upstream. The upstream. Look at this. Get the upstream. So we push, and if everything works well, I expect to see some code that looks kind of like this, my 10 dip, inside of this page whenever I refresh. I save, I click here, and I see my 10 dip. Okay, so now we're about to have 3 different people work at once. And right now, like, pay special attention, guys, because this is where we're about to get magical here, okay? So this computer right here on the left is going to be mine. We're gonna work our way down. The second one is gonna be 10 in the middle, and the third one is going to be dip.
Floyd, I'm sorry. I mixed up my classmate's name.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. These are all classmates here.
Okay.
Okay, so we got my 10 and dip. Okay. So right now, let's pretend I'm now 10. Okay. My technical lead told me that she started a project and she's prepared for me to clone. She gave me the link to the GitHub. I'm really super smart. I went to GitHub and I saw this green button. And I knew what to do with that button. Guess what I was supposed to do with that button, guys? Click it. I was supposed to click it. Right there. I click it. Bam. Now it gave me this URL. Oops, my bad. Shit. Oop, clicked the wrong one. Okay, now click this one. Okay, click this one. Get the URL. Get the URL, okay? Okay, so now I'm in Sierra. This is where I keep all my work, okay? I run git clone. And who's this person? 10. Okay? So what do we do now? I'm gonna move into 10. Let me ask you guys, is 10 and my, is that code the exact same thing or different? Is it the same thing or the different thing, guys? Yes, it's the exact same code. Okay, it's the exact same code, but we're on 2 different computers at this point. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time because the team is not only 2 developers, it might be 3. I know, we're getting super tricky now. So we're gonna git clone, we're gonna paste, and then we're gonna do dip. Okay, so now we're at 3 different, so now we've got the code, we're gonna move into dip. So I'm pretty serious. Yesterday when I introduced you to Tim, I was dead serious, man. When he looks at multiple machines and he's accessing them via hacking, he's doing it through the terminal. Okay, he doesn't physically own my touchpad. He doesn't physically have my screen. He's communicating through with the computer through the terminal. Okay, so everyone's got the code. We've done git log, and we should in fact see that we have 1 commit in each repository, right? Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so let's just say I'm my, and I want to go ahead and do my nav bar. I read ITVIC. I went over to ITVIC, and I looked at one of these jobs. Oops, my bad, wrong one. Sorry guys, I'm sorry I talk about jobs a lot. I just want you to know that, like, I'm pretty serious, that these are real things out here, and like, I want you guys to pay attention to stuff. Hold on. Boop. Anyway, you guys saw him yesterday, okay? Basically, we've been studying Bootstrap, okay? We studied Bootstrap a little bit because we listened to our technical lead when he said that this is important. We also read on ITVIC that some companies want us to know Bootstrap. So we looked around here, we studied it, we realized there are buttons all over Bootstrap that we can click. And when we click that button, it'll copy some code to our clipboard. So we click the button, we jump back over to our code. Oops, code here. And now we're gonna implement this. Okay, so now we have a nav bar. Let's go ahead and open up our server just to test to see what's going on. Why is this working, guys? Yes, we need to do some more. I completely forgot to do this. We need to go to our getting started. We need to link to it. We'll do copy right here. We'll jump back over to VS Code, and then we'll save this at the top of at the bottom of our head above our custom styles. Okay, we jump back. We now see our nav bar. Okay, we've implemented a nav bar and it's been 10 minutes. Okay, so now Maya's work, is it done? She's supposed to do a nav bar, right? It's done, right? Okay, so we save it. And then we do, we do get status now on Maya's computer. And we can see that Maya modified exactly one file, index.html. She's done her work. She's prepared to do to commit. So we do get add all, get commit -m, implement navbar, and then everything's good to go. Okay. So right now I'm gonna push, and then in a second we're gonna do some more work, and then I expect to run into a problem. Yes.
Git commit -m is git commit master branch, right?
No, git commit message. We're saying, hey, it's automatically always going to commit to the branch that you're sitting on. So right now we're sitting on master, okay? So now I'm gonna do git push origin master. Okay, so everything went successfully. So we jump back over to this repository. We refresh, we're gonna see a new commit right here. 41 seconds ago, there was a new commit called implement navbar. We look at index.html, we're gonna see a navbar, right? Do we see the navbar for Maya? Yes, we do, okay? So now, Maya's work is done here. We're gonna jump over to Tien's computer. Now I'm Tien, okay? I'm Tien right now. And I'm on my master branch, guys. If I open up the code editor, what should I see in index.html? Exactly. Ed is 100% correct. If I open up the code editor and I'm on Tien's computer, I'm going to see no nav bar, okay? Why do we not see a nav bar here, guys? Yes, the problem here is that there are like 50,000 different, right now it's like 5 different copies of this code, okay? But in reality is your code can have an infinite number of copies. And an infinite number of copies over time, which kind of blows your mind to think about sometimes, right? We literally have so many other copies of it, okay? This is the exact same code across different machines, across different versions, okay? Remember, that's why we talked about this on day 3. Git is super important. We got to understand this process. So now I'm Tien, and my objective is to implement the header. Tien has also been focusing. I, as Tien, have also been focusing because we've been listening to Loy and we realized he's a really smart guy and he wouldn't lie to us. He's so smart, man. I wish I was more like that guy. I'm just kidding, okay? I'm just kidding, guys. Trying to be funny here, okay? So Tien's job is implement the header. So we went over to Bootstrap, click that copy button, and then we paste it in the header. We save. Let's go and kick up the server to see what happens. Oops. Yes, same exact problem that we had earlier. So we're gonna go over to Bootstrap. I'm gonna open up getting started. And I'm gonna copy this one right here. And then paste below. Okay, paste below. And I'm gonna change one line just because I want us to have a merge conflict here, okay? I'm gonna say Tien's update to Bootstrap, okay? So now, is Tien done with her work? Yeah, it's kind of done. It's not perfect, it's kind of done, okay? So now we're gonna do something called git add. We're gonna do git commit -m, implement header. Okay? So now you've got 2 computers that are both accessing the same code base, right? They're accessing this thing called, I forgot what it's called. Which one is it called? Straws something. Straws suck, okay? We got 2 different computers. We got Maya's computer we've got Tien's computer. They both are touching the exact same code base, except they're both different, right? One person did a navbar, one person did a header. But in a second, you guys are gonna see me try to push the master, and then you guys are going to see a complaint and saying that like the remote repository has something. I don't even remember the error message, to be honest with you, okay? So we get status now on Tien's computer, and we can see that, we have diverged. So now we're gonna do get push origin master. And get is going to complain and say that you cannot do that because you have not pulled yet. Because remember, a second ago, Maya pushed the master, right? We updated the master version, and Tien needs to get that copy before she can move forward. So let's go ahead and push, and let's just see the complaint. Oh shit, the updates have been rejected, man. The remote counterpart already has some changes. So what it's trying to say is that you're trying to update the master, but you don't even have the latest code yet to update, right? You don't even have the latest code to update. So this is why I told you guys, as soon as you merge to master, you need to tell your teammates to pull as quickly as possible. Is that right, Charles? That's how I always look at it. I'm not even sure if that's how I interpret it. As soon as you push the master, you tell your teammates to pull. Okay, this is not magic. This is the teamwork that we're talking about here, okay? That's what it takes sometimes. You gotta call your partner, you know? And then, call your partner and just say, hey, I just updated it, please pull. So now we're gonna run our command get pull origin master. And when we run this command, we're gonna see a merge conflict. Why? Can someone tell me why we're gonna see a merge conflict?
Codes are not the same.
Well, it's expected they're not gonna be the same kind of, right?
We have like similar codes and it doesn't know which one to read, right? Or it doesn't know which one to.
So, it's kind of implicit, but I want some more detail than that, guys. I want more detail. Why is it going to have a merge conflict?
Is it because of line 21?
Say again?
Is it because of line 21?
What's wrong with line 21?
That's a div there?
Not entirely correct. The reason why we're going to have a merge conflict is because there's some code, because both of these repositories, both of the copies I have right here have diverged, right? So this one right here on the left, Maya's code, we implemented a navbar on line 14 through 29, right? And then here on 10 on line 14 through 27 implemented something else. Doesn't even matter at this point. It does not matter right now. But what does matter is that when our code diverged, we now have two different copies on the exact same line. Look at line 14 here. Look at line 14 right here. Okay? So the Git is not that smart. It's a really complicated tool. I keep telling you guys about how you need to know it, and a bunch of smart programmers came up with it. But despite how smart it cannot do everything for us. Sometimes you guys are gonna have to put on your thinking hat, do some reading, and then fix it yourselves. Okay, like I said, this is the job. This is your job as a software developer. Okay? Because you have a highly skilled job, it takes a lot of thinking. I remember I said this yesterday and a couple of you guys thought it was funny, so I'm gonna say it again. You guys can't go ask the woman selling banh mi or a coffee on the side of the street to fix this for you. That is not her job. This is your job if you want to be a software developer. Fix this. Ricardo.
What happens if they are not in the same line?
Then you won't have a merge conflict. But I intentionally did this because I want you to see this merge conflict, okay? So watch this. We're gonna get pull origin master and we're going to see a merge conflict. Oh shit, what do we see? A merge conflict. It's exactly what I predicted. Am I a genius? No. I just, I put in a lot of work. Now I know what to expect. So now if we jump back over to Tien's computer, right? As Tien, we need to read this. That's quite literally our job. Okay, I'm sorry I keep harping on this point, but I'm trying to show you that like this merge conflict is unavoidable. It's unavoidable. It's going to happen. The idea here is not that I give you a way of never ever running into a merge conflict. I'm telling you, the idea here is that like you know that they can happen and you know what the problem was, and then you understand how to fix it. Okay? So we see now that our browser is telling us we have a merge conflict. Okay?
So just to check here, so you see that all those divided between the two different
Right here.
you have, right?
Yes. So right here we can see that this is where again it's telling us that one of these was both of these touched the both developers touched the exact same line of code, right? And now we don't know which one to keep. That's what this merge conflict is telling us. Okay.
The top one is mine. No, top one is Tien, and the bottom one is mine.
Correct. So here, I'm sorry. This is really kind of difficult to illustrate. But a second ago, when we were my, right? See, do you see right here it says in my? Do you guys see where it says my up there? Where I'm like circling my mouse, right? That's the name of the folder right now, right? So this is Mai's computer, okay? A second ago, Mai updated it like this. She didn't have an ID inside of her link, right? Whereas we Tien we did add an ID, okay? We added an ID for whatever reason, okay? But now our job, okay, so this is kind of like this is the part where like I keep telling you that like the first person when you are the one who did not get into master first, and then you run into a merge conflict, it's your job to fix it. This is the benefit that Mai gets because she worked quicker, she delivered her code to master, it got passed, code review quicker. This is just the benefit she gets. She wins on this one, okay? She's lucky or some shit like that. I don't know, right? Basically because Mai was first. Now this is Tien's problem, kinda.
Tien gets the left turn.
Exactly. So yeah. So like, when I say it's a problem, like I don't even know if I believe that. It's just your job. It's just what you have to do. You know, like it's like me saying like my problem is you guys. It's like it's kind of a problem, sorta. But on the other hand, it's kind of my job to teach you guys too. So I'm not really saying it's a problem. This is literally her job. Okay. So this is where Tien is going to do something. She's going to simply read it and fix it. Okay. So she's gonna say, hey. Okay, I see that we both updated a link tag in the head. I can see that, for me, it's exactly the same thing, right? Bootstrap 4.3.1, all the stuff we copied and pasted, except for me, I added an ID because I needed an ID for something, okay? So now we're just going to delete one. We're going to like, essentially the vast majority of the times, you're just going to delete one or the other, okay? Either delete the green one and the closing tag, or the inverse, right? Delete this one and the opening. It's usually going to be that way. But sometimes, as Chloe ran into yesterday, sometimes there's going to be other clashes, right? There's going to be clashes where like one person wrote a style and now it's conflicting with your style. That happens too. So once again, that's why I'm trying to tell you the idea is not that you're not going to do this. The idea is that like you just got to be careful and read the code and fix it. Because if you cannot fix the merge conflict, you might as well just throw away all the code and start over, okay? I promise you, fixing the merge conflict is much easier than starting over. Fixing the merge conflict is much easier than starting over. Okay, so we fixed this. Now we can do get status. And we see that we modified one. The reason why we're doing this is what? What were we trying to do just a second ago? Exactly. We're trying to push our code here so that we can see what below this nav bar. Let's refresh it. Because remember what Tien implemented a second ago. Yes. So now Tien is done with her work. She tried to push. GitHub complained and said, hey, you can't do that, man. You need to get that newest code before you can push. Okay? But Tien is still trying to do her job. She's still trying to get her code into master. She is still trying to get into production. Okay? All of this shit is for production. All of this is for the user. That's what you need to do. So we go back to GitHub. We refresh. We see that Tien has not made it to master yet. She has not made it to production. So we're still going to keep moving with Git. So we're going to do git add on, git commit, implement header. Yeah. Oh no, my bad. This one is resolve merge conflict. Resolve merge conflict. And now we can do git push origin master. Please tell me the internet is up. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, let's try this again. Sometimes I like canceling the command and just running again and see what happens. It's kind of like that meme that Charles posted in random yesterday. Fix nothing, just run it again. It actually works sometimes, you know? I'm dead serious. I'm pretty serious right now. And
That's
so,
what's funny with those images, you know, when you were showing like, it's not like, they are working sometimes.
yeah, I'm not really. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you just need to restart your computer too, man. I'm dead serious, man. You guys think I'm joking? Okay, so now we pushed. We resolved the merge conflict. We get added everything. We get committed everything. We get pushed. Okay. So now my expectation that is on line 54. If I refresh this page, we're gonna see two people's code here. Okay. We're gonna have a little bit from mine. We're gonna have a little bit from 10. I'm gonna refresh. And what do we see? We got 10. We got my. Nice. This wasn't magic. It took a little bit of thinking, okay? A little bit of knowledge, foundational knowledge that we got at Coder School. A little bit of foundational knowledge, okay? So we're gonna do it one more time to illustrate this point. I'm dip. Okay, actually, hold on. So let's go look at our kit. Just think about our git logs, guys. Git log, okay? This is basically our diary. This is where we write down everything that happens inside of our repository, okay? My boyfriend called me. Him and I had a big fight. He bought me roses, something like that. So we do git log, and we see that this is kind of a bit confusing. I told you, like, I'm sorry it's a bit confusing because everything's on one computer, but just know that, like, right here, implement navbar and initial commit, it's gonna be different on Mai's computer, okay, than Tien's. Why? Because Mai has not yet pulled yet. So we run git log inside of Tien's computer, we're gonna see 4 commits, I think. 3 or 4. So we have a resolve merge conflict, implement header, implement navbar, initial commit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on Mai's computer we only have 2 commits, and on Tien's computer we have 4. How many should we see on Dip's computer? Why do we see 1? Why do we see 4? It's just 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's still on his original.
Exactly. It's still just 1 because Dip, ever since she grabbed that code and brought it home to her computer, it's been updated. It's been changed by 2 different people. 2 other people are working on this code at the exact same time. Okay. So Mai and Tien are both working on this. So Mai has 2 commits, right? She has 1 version of the repository. So does Tien, except Tien's is the latest. Tien has 4 commits, right? Okay, Dip, if we do the exact same thing, she only has 1 because she cloned it and she hasn't pulled yet. She doesn't have the newest code. So let's go ahead and prove that point. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the code editor in Dip, and I promise you, if we look at index that. Sorry.
glog.
That's a special command. It's guys, like I said, I'll show you how to do that later, okay? You guys can add additional arguments to your git commands to format the output. Okay, I want this to look yellow. I want this to look green. I want it to be on one line. I don't care about the date. I want to know the date, etc. There's an infinite number of ways that you can combine the commands to get the format that you want. So if we look at index.html, I expect we don't see any work. Okay, because as soon as the project was created, we pulled, and we didn't pull since then. Despite the fact that on GitHub there has been 2 or 3 or 4 commits, okay? So let's look at index, and wow, we can see that Dip does not have anyone's work. Holy shit. What does Dip need to do? Does she need to go to Make-A-Wish somewhere? Go see a fortune teller? No, she's going to use her knowledge of Git. Okay, so Dip's job is to do the footer. I hope there's a footer on Bootstrap because I don't want to code this live right now. Footer. Fuck, there's no footer. Damn it. Okay, what's something else? Let's just do a carousel. No, I need something that's easy to think about. Let's do a form. Okay, so our product owner came in and said, "Hey, we changed our minds. We're not doing a footer anymore. We're doing a form." Okay. No, my bad. We are doing a footer. We're just putting a form inside of it. Okay. The product owner changed their mind again. Okay. It's a footer that has a form inside of it. I'm gonna save this right here, and then Dip's work is done. Is it?
No, I mean, first off, we didn't do CSS again.
Yes.
Linking up the-
So we need to copy this. We're gonna jump over here and paste. Let's go ahead and start up our server. Oops. And we can see that we have a form. It doesn't look like great, so we're just gonna go ahead and no, I shut you mind. We're going to make it look okay. I don't know, just we do div.container, we hit enter. I'm gonna hold tab and just go down, down, or alt and go down. Then we're gonna format the document. Okay, so we now have a footer. Dope. And it has a form inside of it. Okay, so Dip is done with her work. She's done. She's getting paid this Friday now. She did a good job. So we're gonna do git add all, git commit -m.
I mean, this question, what happened if they pull the master branch?
Right now,
Yeah. What happened?
she'll get the latest code, no merge conflict. It'll be okay.
And what would happen to that code there?
So if she tried to pull it after she had already worked on this, Git would say you have to commit your changes first. You have to commit, or you have to start back from the beginning. So it's okay though. She doesn't want it those way.
It is quite smart to be fair.
That's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
It's stopping you making those mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Git is very smart, but at the end of the day, a computer cannot do everything. A person can do. You know, this is just true. Technology isn't there yet. You know, Git is super smart. It's just not smart enough. Okay. So we're gonna do. All right. So that answer your question? Yeah. So we're gonna do implement footer. Okay. So now we run git status, and we can see that we've diverged from master. Okay. This is like a big scary word in English. I don't know, man. It's not that scary. It just means it went separate ways. Okay. It went separate ways. The code has gone off different ways. The code has branched. Even though we haven't used a branch, like the code has in fact branched. It's gone different ways. So now we can do, if we run git push origin master, what are we gonna see? Huh? No. We're gonna see a complaint. It's not gonna let us push because we still have not gotten the code from master. We need to get that latest code before we can update the latest code. Okay? So it's like I'm looking for a job, right? I'm looking for a job and I say, hi, can you go help me get a job? And then I say, Ed, can you go help me get a job? Right? And then Hi comes back 5 minutes later and he says, all right, I got your job. And I start working on the job and stuff, right? And then Edward comes back to me and he's like, all right, I got your job. And then I'm telling you, but the situation with me has changed. I no longer need a job. So Edward needs to be like aware of my current condition, right? You know, if he brings me a job, then he needs to bring me a better job than I have. I don't know if that analogy is great. I've been thinking about this. I've been trying to think about a good analogy to explain this, and I think this is one of the best ones. I hope this illustrates well to you guys. Okay? But just know when we try to push, when Dip tries to update the code on master in GitHub, GitHub is going to say, hey man, you don't have the latest code, you can't do that. You get a pull before you do that. And it just said that. It rejected our changes because we have not yet got it, right? It's telling you right here, IG git pull before pushing again. You got to git pull before you push.
Oh, interesting. It says here obviously the tip of the current branch is behind.
So it's basically,
If for example you had the top of it, but at the bottom, would it say the root of the branch, or would it never do that? Just out of interest.
it's always the tip. It's always going to be the tip.
Yeah.
Because your root is always going to be the same. It's like a tree. You guys, whenever you guys have been Googling Git, I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of tree diagrams and diagrams, little circles and arrows and shit. Right now that seems really complicated, but as you guys practice, you become more familiar. It's gonna become more familiar. You know, it's just like the learn Git branching game that I showed you guys. I know it's like you can't. It's hard to relate with anything because nothing that human beings have done in our 2 million years on Earth is kind of like this. Okay, I don't know. Maybe not nothing. Maybe there are some things like Git. I can't think of anything else like Git other than Git. Okay, this is an entirely new concept. Okay, an entirely new concept. So we're gonna do git pull to get the latest code. And what are we gonna see here, guys? Is everything gonna be A-okay? Merge conflict. Yes, Ricardo. That's exactly what we're going to see. Because Dip has touched the same files as master. And it's gonna complain and saying like, you gotta fix this, man. So we jump over and we see some complaints, right? It's complaining, right? So once again, this is where the files have changed, and we got to just start thinking and reading, reading and thinking, reading and thinking. And if we're confused, we take a 5-minute break, we go get water, do whatever, and then we do some more thinking and reading, okay guys? So we jump back over to our code editor, and we're gonna fix this, okay? So we jump back over, and I'm Dip. Now I'm looking at the code that's gone along, okay? I implemented a link to on lines 10 through 11, okay? And then I look at what 10 did. 10 did the sort of same thing on line 13. So we simply just decide which one to keep, okay? So because IDs are kind of important, we're just gonna go with what 10 did, right? Because we're thinking to ourselves like, I wonder why 10 did that. Typically, this is where you call them. Maybe not call them. You get up out of your chair and you walk over. And you're like, hey, why'd you do that? Is there a reason? No? Yeah?
Yes, there's a reason.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with your code, okay? And then we walk back over to our desk. We sit down. And then we fix it. We just go with what she had, okay? I've heard people say that developers are not like people. Like we don't like talking to people. But I promise you, developers also talk to people. We go to work every single day and talk to people, even though we don't want to. Yeah, I promise you. I remember my previous company, every single day the product owner was like, oh, we got a meeting, we got to talk about this, blah, 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 blah. We're going to do this and that, okay? That's a part of the job too, we got to talk to people, okay? So we're going to scroll down, we're going to keep going, we're going to keep going, we're going to keep going. And now we see kind of a big difference, okay? I'm Dip, I've been working on the footer. I can see that my footer looks sexy. Looks good, right? But then this footer here at the bottom that was already here, it's conflicting with my work. But then I simply read it. I read line 9 and I was like, oh shit, this is an empty footer, man. I don't want this. So to resolve this merge conflict, I'm just gonna delete that one, delete this one. Okay, so now let's go ahead and stop some of these real quick, my bad. Is this the one? Dip. So now, Dip is the only one who has everyone's code right now, okay? Dip has Mai's code, Dip has Tian's code, and Dip has Dip's code. So we're gonna do, we're gonna run our server, and we're gonna see we have a navigation, a Jumbotron, and a forum. Okay, this is the work of 3 different people working on 3 different machines. It's all come together, okay? Come together so around a campfire. We're all singing Kumbaya now. Ricardo.
What happened for the CSS file? You, for the container class, you changed the background code, and then the other person didn't.
So that's why. So someone, like I said, a human has to read through it and just be like, hey man, which one's more important? And if you're not sure,
Is it the same advice for your code editor, like you have a merge conflict or something like that, or?
So
you see, we're currently working in index file.
okay, yeah.
If we were in CSS, would it show the same kind of information? We'd have to look across that as well.
Exactly, yeah. Every single file will be like this. There'll be a JavaScript file, an HTML file, a JSX file, a Python file, just a Ruby file. Any file can have this, okay? Remember, any software development project is just a collection of folders and files, and all these folders and files work together somehow. So this one folder holds this one thing, and then this one file holds this one thing, and they all talk to each other, okay? Okay, so now, we're almost done, guys. I'm sorry, I've been talking for a little while. I'm gonna run get status. We're almost done, okay? So we can see that we also, you guys are just gonna sometimes, I'm gonna give you a heads up right now. Sometimes VS Code is automatically going to add a folder here for you, and this is just basically some configurations. Don't add that, okay? You can either delete it, you can either delete this file, or you can just do get add index. So this is going to add only the index and not that one personal file.
Why is it doing that?
So like
Is it because of using Bootstrap and you should have JavaScript default?
So sometimes like you'll set up certain configurations that I always want to indentation of 2 spaces, right? So right now I see indentation of 4 spaces, right? I want every single one of my developers to use only 2 spaces. So in that situation, you add the setting right here. You say, hey, VS Code, make sure you tell Ed that he needs to do 2 space indentation, not 4 spaces. Okay, this is what configurations like that. These rules get much more complicated. Blah blah blah. Just know that like there are certain configurations that matter. Every single team member needs to have access to this. Right now, I don't want to do that. Okay, and that's additionally that's why I'm showing you that you can get add one file. That's one thing I also want you to understand. You don't need to get add every single thing. You can just get add one file. That's okay, or 10 files. Okay, how many girlfriends can you have, Ed? One?
You should really have one, but you can have multiple.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's okay. Right? That doesn't make you a bad person if you have 2 or 3 girlfriends. I'm pretty sure, right?
It depends on your comment. Doesn't mean make you a bad person. You have 2 or 3 wives or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, right? We're not got. Yeah. If I can make them all happy, you know, that's cool. Okay, so now we're gonna do get add, or did we gonna get add? Now we're gonna do get commit dash m, get commit dash m, implement footer. Oh shit, my bad. Get status. Did I save the file? I'm confused. Where am I? Code all. Gotta delete this one now.
Can we look at the yellow there just to see it so we can try and work it through as well?
Say again?
Fix them up in your work tree.
Okay, hold on. You want me to do what now? I'm confused.
So you see it on your terminal. It's showing.
Yeah?
It's showing some of the problems on the terminal.
Yeah?
Fix them up. I'm not saying that.
Fix them up in the work tree and then use get add in file. Okay, so the reason why this is hold on, get status. I tried to run get commit. I need to remove this file right now. Okay? Either remove it or add it. So I'm just gonna just trust me, you're allowed to do this. We do remove rf, that file right there. So now we do get status. Oh shit, we might run into a problem here. Get commit dash m, implement footer. Okay, we got a problem. Hold on one second. Get reset.
You can use the checkout file.
Get checkout file.
You can ignore.
No, there's a way to do this. I don't want to show you this. I can solve this problem using a bunch of other Git commands, but I don't want to solve that problem this way right now. I'm trying to think about. I'm confused with what happened right now. Hold on one second. So I think a second ago I added this file by accident. Okay, in TN or minus folder. Fuck! I did that by accident. God damn it. Oh. Okay, so live server automatically created this. That's the problem. Live server automatically did this, okay? Oops. Okay, so let's just look at the file real quick. Fuck it, I'm just gonna copy this over here, okay? What's it called? Settings.json? Settings.json. I'm gonna paste it. Okay. So I'm gonna do get add. Please let me add it. Get commit dash m implement footer. Okay, so now we're good to go. All right, sweet. Thought I started sweating. I thought I was gonna fuck this up. Okay, so now just know that dip has every single person's code. Okay, and she's about to get every single code. She's gonna add her code into master. Okay, so we look at master on the thing. Does master have the footer that dip does, that dip implemented? No, she doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. So now dip is simply going to push. Okay. Get push origin master. Okay. She's pushing to this place called origin, and she's pushing it to the master branch. So now we jump back over to our index.html on GitHub. We can see that we have work from 3 different people. Right. We have it from my. Right here. We have it from Tien. And then we have it from Dip. Lastly, okay? So now, obviously, because every single one of these team members have pushed to master, we need to tell our teammates to pull, Okay, if we look at git log on Dip's computer, her last commit was something called implement footer. If we look at git log on Tien's computer, the last thing we're gonna see is like implement header. Oh my bad, it was implement header, then resolve merge conflict. And then lastly, for we look at it, the last thing she did was implement navbar. So she has not pulled from master the longest. So her code is going to look the most different than everyone else's. And I know that this is a contrived example. We're working in one file. And like we didn't really implement anything too crazy. But know that if this happens across like 20 different files, you're gonna run into a bunch of headaches. Okay, if you guys think fixing a merge conflict in one file is difficult, imagine you do it on 20 different files. Okay, that's way more difficult. Do we have any questions so far, guys? Any more questions? Okay, guys, sorry for the lecture. This one's quite long. I just wanted you guys to see. Let me just review one more time, okay? This is something Charles really wants. He likes it when I do this, okay? The objective today of what this lecture was is I wanted to show you guys that merge conflicts, and I know I said this yesterday, can be solved, okay? And each one of these terminal windows is, you can imagine, a different computer, right? And each one of these terminal windows, even though they're working on different things, at the end of the day, they're all on the same team. They're still working on the same code, okay? Tien, and Dip, they're all working on some code. And it's the exact same code, but they're working on different parts. And when they're working and they're all doing their thing, right, sometimes they're gonna run into merge conflicts. And when the merge conflict occurs, we just gotta read the code carefully and fix it. You know, there's no other solution. If you guys don't wanna do that, then all you gotta do is quit. Okay, quit being a software developer. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say that, but I'm trying to advise you that this is your job. You know, I've said that so many times already, but I want to say it again, okay? I'm trying to say that, like, you know, at the end of the day, I've been thinking about this a long time. You guys don't need to be software developers to be good people. I believe every one of you can walk out of here, never come back, and still be a good person, okay? I would still wish you the best, okay? That being said, being a doctor is hard. Being an architect is hard. You know, being an athlete is hard. Being a software engineer is hard. This is the hard part right here, okay? Stuff like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and break, and you guys are gonna continue working on your work as a